recording. What up, world? What up, ladies and gentlemen? We are recording. I'd like to welcome you here to the High Ticket Freedom Show. I'm so excited to have you here. It is your man and your host, Mr. Michael Overdeliver Baptiste. So in this edition, we have a very, 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 very special guest coming on to today's show. I'm so excited to have her here. You know, it is truly an honor to have her here on today's show. It is truly a pleasure to have her here on today's show. She is someone who has literally defied the odds. I mean, she is someone that has overcome some serious things as it relates to her health. She's overcome, one of the biggest things that most people want to accomplish is how to create that freedom for themselves. And she's been able to do that for several years now. And one of the most amazing things that I truly, truly enjoy about her is the fact that no matter what it takes, she is going to keep going. She's going to stay persistent and she's going to find a way to be successful. And she has done that and she is continuing to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to the marketing automation specialist for health coaches, Miss Rochelle Odubela.
Wow. Thank you so much, Michael Baptiste. That was amazing. Thank you. It's just so funny listening to that, But yeah, thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here, everyone. And I'm just grateful, very grateful.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your time with us. You know, our audience probably is like, who is Rochelle? Like, what's so special about her? Listen, you're going to find out exactly what's so special about her in this episode. So Rochelle, our audience, it's like, who is Rochelle? Like, we've heard about her. You've talked about her, Michael, but who is she? So Rochelle, if you could just start out, share a little bit about, what is it that you do, and just share a little bit about who are you for our audience.
Yeah, so my name is Rochelle Odubela. I am co-founder and director of Lanarok Solutions Limited, and we specialize in helping health coaches have more income and impact so that they can help more people. And we do this through automating their client attraction using Facebook ads. And we do a lot of stuff within our company, but Facebook ads is the primary way. And we also, and as well as that, we have our charity, lanarok.org, which is a nonprofit that specializes in helping young entrepreneurs, young people in general between 16 to 25, use their existing skills to create their own wealth. So we're big advocates of creating your own wealth. We don't ever want to hear anyone say that they're broke and don't have a job, because there's so many such that we can turn into an income stream. Some people just don't know that they've got it in them. So yeah, and also I'm a mother of two, married, and so I've been married for 8 years now, coming up to 9 years, and I've managed to juggle. We'll learn more about that very soon. I managed to juggle the, me time, husband time, children time, work time, and build a business at the same time. 2 businesses. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell for me. So we'll find out more.
Yeah, that is awesome. I mean, being able to build 2 businesses, being able to do all these things, you help coaches, you help them literally transform what they're doing in their practices and be able to help, just a lot of people around the world, especially with the movement you guys are doing. I think it's just awesome. Everything you're doing, I think it's awesome. So, if we could actually start to dig in a little bit, we hear about your success. We hear that you've now been able to build 2 businesses, right? Just starting from where you were. But let's actually rewind and let's go back to the beginning to, how it is that you and I first started working together. Can you share a little bit more about where you were before we started working together?
Yeah, so back then, this was I got into the digital marketing world in 2011. And back then I was doing the whole DIY thing. I was doing blogging, I was doing SEO, websites, affiliate marketing. So I've literally done it all when it comes to marketing. But for 3 years, I was just buying product after product, testing it, then moving on to the next one, which is in the marketing world called shiny object syndrome. So I did that for 3 years while I was working full time. So my background is engineering. So I worked full time for companies such as Motorola, Qualcomm, as a software test automation engineer. And I did that for, must have been 12 years of experience in that. And I loved it. It was fantastic. But I knew I always wanted more. I always aspired for more, because I thought, well, I could only earn so much in this profession unless I became like vice president, which is not something that I had. It wasn't a goal that I had because I wanted to start a family and settle down then. And which I did. We got married. I got married to my husband, Rochelle Odubela, in 2012. And then we had our first daughter 2014. And that's when I first heard about Michael in 2014, when he launched the outsource report. So I bought that, I implemented it, and then within 7 days, I made like my first $1,000 in profit, and I didn't do any of the work. So I was like, hang on a minute. Throughout the whole time, I was just working for $2 an hour, because when I broke down how many hours I was working with clients doing their website, it was $2 an hour. And I was like, well, I didn't sign up for this. I mean, I might as well just stick to my day job, I'm earning 20 times more than that, It's like, what's the point? So, so I basically said, once I started buying the right things and implementing it from start to finish, that's when I saw the results. And I got the first big win with one of Michael's products. And so since then, it's just been, it's been a very bumpy road, but I got there.
Okay, so that was 2014. That was kind of like how things started, right? This one little outsource report ended up turning into, like, who knew, but it would turn into seven figure, like, not seven figure, but what was it? I think 7 days.
Yeah, $1,000 in 7 days. Yeah.
There we go. That's what it was. $1,000 in 7 days. I mean, like, who knew, right? But let's actually move beyond that moment in 2014, and let's fast forward to like the moment where we decided to take that to the next level and actually help you to really grow massively with your business and through High Ticket Freedom. Like, let's talk about what happened then.
Yeah, so I joined High Ticket Freedom with you, obviously, in 2017. It was probably it was around May 2017. And so we worked through, because between 2014 and 2017, I'd done lead generation. So I'd worked with like roofers, plumbers. So I thought, yeah, I'm going to launch a course about a program about how to do lead gen using Google Maps. And I was like, I thought, yeah, let me just do that. And then I realized, hang on a minute, this is not really what I want to do. So I spent a lot of time deliberating. And as I'm putting it down to my Virgo, I am a Virgo. Any Virgos out there who suffer with perfectionism, it's your zodiac sign. Just blame that. Because I've been told, I've always been a perfectionist since university. I've always been like the last one to hand in my report, my coursework, because I just wanted to make sure it was perfect. And I thought I got out of it, but it's still there. I thought I, somehow stopped being a perfectionist, but I had to really try hard. And then once I worked with Michael, he really helped me, get out of that perfectionism and say, Rochelle, just do the thing that you're passionate about, just get it done. That's it. Stop going around in circles. So that's what really helped with working with you, was just to get focused. And throughout that time, I was going back and forth. So by the time we'd obviously finished the program, I then fully implemented, 90% of it, probably by September of the same year. And that's when I closed another high ticket client. Because obviously I've done web design before. I've worked with other clients before, but I've never had an online program before. So it was the first time. I've never ever closed a client, just one client for, multiple thousands. So once I did that, it was then another client, and then I generated close to $17,000 in 2.5 months. And that was the most I've ever made online ever. I mean, these people are from the other side of the world. There's one in South Africa, one in US, one in UK. That's the only one that was UK. But I mean, it was like, and I'm in the UK. So it's like, I was just so humbled to work with people from so many different time zones and walks of life. And that I attracted to applying the strategies within High Ticket Freedom. And, it was just, from there, things just kept getting better and better, really.
That is amazing. Like, wow, that's so incredible to me, because you decided to take the actions and you decided, hey, you know what? I don't like this. I see the money potential in this, but this doesn't resonate. Let me find a thing that resonates with me. And you went and did that. And, for what it's worth, a lot of people will just go and do something without like really finding out what they're passionate about. And they'll get to a point where they realize, hey, I'm not passionate about this. Like, why am I doing this? And they look back and they, lose all that time. Exactly. But in your case, you were able to see within a short amount of time, hey, this is not it. This is what I want. This is the lifestyle I want. And I'm going to find a way. And you did. And I think that's incredible. But, go ahead. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, thank you. I mean, it wasn't easy. I mean, it was hard to kind of battle this self-doubt. I think I had a lot of self-doubt. I mean, even though, we registered our business in 2014, but 3 years before that, I was learning everything about marketing. I would live and breathe marketing, and I was still questioning myself in 2017. And that was 6 years after being in the marketing game, So it's just amazing how much self-doubt and this imposter syndrome thing we have sometimes, like we're not good enough. And that's what I had to battle with a lot, because I just found it difficult to kind of just get the thing done.
Yeah. Yep.
So it was just so good to have working with someone like you to kind of keep getting me back on track. Say, Rochelle, come on, where are we? And you really did help me, to stay focused. And that was the best thing about having a coach like you, is just to be able to stay focused, and that I could get feedback on things as I was going through, all this self-talk that I was saying, should I do this? Should I do that? I would say, Michael, what do you think about this? And it really helped to get that feedback. It's just, we all need it. Coaches need coaches.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And right now to this day, I have coaches as well, because it's extremely important. Yeah. So, you were in a position where there were some frustrations along the journey, right? Like what was some of those frustrations that came along your path as you were working on building your business from home?
Oh, so where do I start? So the first thing, I mean, obviously I became a mother, 2014. So, well, even before that, even if you don't have children, that's a challenge in itself, because you still have to balance, spouse time and work. Because I was working full time, It was a really good, it was kind of flexible working hours, but I still had to be confined to, I had to, say when I was going on, I had to go on holiday, and I didn't really like that. And that's why I aspired to just work for myself, because I was like, I don't want to be told, I don't want to have to say when I want to take vacation, or we say holiday in the UK, but I didn't want to have to tell people when I had to go on a vacation. But obviously I was very blessed to be in the UK, because you get a long maternity leave. And the problem with that was that I put a lot of pressure on myself. It was like when I had my daughter in May 2014, it was like, right, I've got 9 months before I have to go back. I need to make this money so I don't have to go back to the day job. So I put a lot of stress on the body. And what happened was I ended up getting into a state of exhaustion, because I maybe had 2 months off. So I spent time with my daughter, maybe May till July, but I was still doing stuff, and not really looking after myself. So I would just eat the odd thing and thinking, because I was a nursing mother as well, which takes a whole lot out of you that I didn't even know. And that was, I didn't really listen to my body. I didn't even know how to listen. I was like, well, can't be much difference with them, being single, and, I just carry on as normal. But, so I didn't have enough nutritious food, even though I didn't eat junk. It was just not enough to sustain being a new mother and nursing a baby and building a business. It was just not enough in my system to cope, really. It's as simple as that. And so what happened was I ended up going into the hospital with exhaustion. And what happened from there? But the problem with that one is that I came out worse than when I went in, because all I needed to do was just sleep. Even my husband said to the doctors, she's just exhausted. She just needs to, earplug so she doesn't hear any noise, and she just needs to sleep. But the doctors actually misdiagnosed me, and they thought I had some schizophrenia or something. I don't know what it is, but they ended up giving me a drug against my husband's consent. Because at that point we were he was going to put me, because as part of my full-time employment, I had private medical care. So he said, well, let me take her out of the hospital, let her get a private treatment. By the time my husband came back from calling the private hospital, they'd already injected a drug into my back without his consent. And that just, I was just off. And then they labeled me as being mental. So they put me on a mental ward for 2 weeks. And that is where I suffered the mental trauma. It was like I was losing myself. because the drugs were not it was not intended for me, because all I needed to do was just sleep. Sleep was my cure, but the doctors thought that no, there's something else, and just gave me drugs that made me hallucinate. I was hearing things, I was seeing things, and I was literally losing myself. I mean, if it wasn't for my mom and my husband coming to the hospital every day to bring my daughter, that was the only normality that I had. That's what I was clinging on to. Like, I can see my daughter, she's there, you know. But if that didn't happen, I would have gone crazy, because the drugs were so strong that I would have lost my mind if I didn't have my family's support. So what happened after that is I had to get myself out of there, basically. Otherwise, I would have been stuck there forever. So once I knew I was seeing sense, when the nurses came around to give me medication, I was questioning, like, what is it? And when my husband saw I was asking questions, he thought, yes, Rochelle's coming back. Because he knows I'm inquisitive, and he knows I wouldn't just take something without knowing what it is and what are the side effects. So he's like, yes, Rochelle's coming around. So I had to hide the drugs, put it in the bin, and then so to stop myself from going even more into this other person that was not me. So and eventually I kind of didn't wean myself off. There was doctors there that did support me. They were like, what are you doing here? There was one particular doctor that I absolutely love, when she said that, you shouldn't actually be here. So she, looked through my notes and everything. I thought, well, how did you even get in here? How did it come to this? So if it wasn't for her talking to the other medical team to say, this is the wrong place for Rochelle, I don't know what would have happened. But, and obviously my parents, all the prayers, I mean, even the church drove down they drove up from London to Cambridge. That's about an hour and a half journey, just to come and pray for me in the hospital. And I just started getting better and better and better from then on. I mean, because we're a very spiritual family, we believe in the Most High, and we really connected there, because my husband was like, we've got to do something. So all the pastors came and prayed for me, and I remember it clearly. They were singing and everything in the hospital. And obviously that again brought back normality, because I was visiting that church with my husband, and it was just amazing that I actually got out of there, because I don't know what would have happened if I'd just given in and thought that I needed these drugs and didn't, question. So thankfully I got out, and, I had to take 2 months off again. I had to rebuild myself and, rebuild the bond between my husband and my daughter. And slowly, I came back. Business was back on track. We bought a new house. And we got an investment property. So, because I'm, if you didn't know, if those that don't know me, I'm a big lover of property. Since I was 21, I've owned my own home. I've never rented ever. And I've always I've always sacrificed to get property. Basically, I put money aside, get my deposit. I've got wonderful parents that supported me as well. So I've always wanted this multiple streams of income. So it's not even about, just building the business. Even if we're the business, we still got multiple streams. We always make sure we have a passive income that doesn't require time, and the property is what did it for us. So I'm going to stop there, and just for everyone to digest that, because there's a lot to take in, I know.
Wow. I mean, just like the whole, going through the exhaustion and, having to deal with all of that, just all of those things at the hospital. I mean, wow, like to go through all of that, what would you say is it that, like, from those events, what would you say is it that you were able to take from those experiences and you were able to actually transform into something positive for your success? Like, what would you say that were some of your takeaways from those experiences?
Definitely the takeaway was to, put myself first. I kind of just took for granted health, really. And as that saying goes, health is wealth. But I changed it and said, your ultimate health is your own wealth. I'll come to that later when we get to the book. But anyway, health is wealth, basically. And I didn't really, I didn't take that seriously as a new mother. And even though I got advice, my mum would watch me, my mother would say to me, Rochelle, you need to go and rest. I'd be like, oh no, I'm fine. I just felt like I was Superwoman. So obviously since then I've learned to prioritize myself, but it didn't even after that experience, things didn't go to plan when I had my son. So it happened again, so I didn't even learn from that. So, but I think to answer your question, it has it did change my whole perspective on life and how vulnerable you could be to go from I was perfectly fine and to the next day I just crashed. That's literally how it was. And it was just, everything happened so quickly. So I think, again, what I can take from it is just the self-care, really. Put that first, and then everything else falls into place, as my wonderful health coach tells me.
I agree with that. I agree with that. And it's important. It's very, very important. So, if we can actually, direct this back to your experiences of, you learned from these mistakes of the past, of the exhaustion, the importance of self-care and taking care of yourself. Then you get to the point where you say, hey, you know what? I want something different. I want more freedom for myself and my family and my time and, holidays and all that good stuff. I want to actually have my own business and I want to be full-time online. I want to walk away from the job so I can have this freedom with my family, right? Like in that gap of time, like, okay, and when I say gap of time, I mean like from the moment you got that result of like the, almost doing 17K, to, from the start where you're like, you know what, something has to change. Something has to be different. Like I must do something different. Can you talk to us a little bit about that part of your journey of how you had to juggle, being a mom, being a wife, being a, an entrepreneur, and at the same time, knowing what happened in the past with exhaustion? Like, can you talk to us a little bit about how you balance all of that on your journey to success?
Yeah, I mean, definitely for me, it was the mindset training and meditation that really helped me. And once I made that consistent, I found that every time I got my mind right, the whole day just went really well. So that's one thing that I must have to stress. And with working at the same time, I had to have a really tight, schedule. So I had to really plan my time, like to the minute. I couldn't let it was literally, like dun, dun, dun. It was like a very scheduled. I had to be very scheduled basically. So everything goes in the calendar. So, even just having lunch would go on the calendar. Even if I had to take an hour just to go, a half an hour walk, it has to go on the calendar. And that's the only way I could get the balance. But I think coming up to, what you said about, why I wanted to, leave the full-time job is because, what happened, I think the main thing that happened was obviously while working with you, I saw other people getting results and that kind of kept me pushing me forward to get the results. So I just kept learning. I mean, I'm a big learner and I invested in, more programs in Facebook ads. And so then, now an expert in Facebook ads, even though I knew it before, I'd hired coaches in 2015. You remember we registered the business in 2014, but we still hadn't got to the point where I could walk away from, the full-time job until 2017 after working with you. So once I handed in my notice in September, I had to work 3 months, full-time, knowing that, in December I'm going to leave. And it was really hard because, it was a really well-paid job and I found it really difficult to transition. It was scary actually, to be honest, because yes, I made it 17,000. I know that I can, generate that consistently from what all the things that I've learned. I put everything together and I'll continue bringing in the revenue that replaces the day job income. That was the main goal for me. I wanted to know that I could replace or match or do more than what I was earning full time. So obviously I have my husband's support as well. So I wasn't on my own. So it was less risk, but it was difficult. It was really hard. And so juggling being a mother, again, I just have to schedule like the children time. So, between 6 and 8 p.m. or 7 and 9 p.m. is where I have to make sure that, I have time for them. So it is really hard. But once you schedule things, that's what made it so much easier to schedule your me time. I mean, I don't just mean business time. I mean, I have calendars on my here. One is personal, one is business. And that's what really helped. And I continue to do that to this day.
That's excellent. So, I mean, just kind of summing some of those up. Sounds like, getting the mindset right was extremely important. It does sound like having that support system around you. It sounds like that was really important, not only just on the business side, but also on the personal side, as well as financial side, right? Because all of it equals wholeness. And then, I mean, like, like bringing all of these together, it sounds like there's a lot. Would you say like those are some of the main things that really helped you, or?
Definitely. I mean, if I didn't have my mother, I mean, big shout out to my mother. If I didn't have her, I wouldn't have a business. Simple as that. Not
Thank
have a
you,
business
moms.
because
Thanks, moms. Yeah.
yeah, it's literally, that's all I can say. There's nothing more I can say than that, because if the support that she's given me and seeing me, you know, go through all this trauma since 2004. I mean, the major illness started from 2004. I was 9 months in hospital from eating the wrong foods. Then it was 2014. Wow. Then it was 2017. My mother had to watch all that, you know, watching her only daughter. Yes, she's got a son as well, but her only daughter just dying, literally. And 2004 was very, very serious, you know? 2014, it was physically not serious, but mentally for me, it was mental death. 2017, again, that was more of the physical trauma again, and which we'll go into later, but that was like physical trauma where I almost died, you know? And so my mother and my father, no, I can't miss out my father, no way. But that mom and dad, it was because of the love and they had for me. That's what made the doctors keep fighting for me in 2004, because they would have given up on me in 2004. So I wouldn't have never even met you, Michael. I wouldn't even have met my husband because of my support from my mom and dad. I mean, they're 40 years married strong. I mean, they were the foundation for me.
That's so beautiful. That is so awesome. So Rochelle, you know, thank you for sharing that. I know that is very close to the heart, and I do appreciate you for that vulnerability and transparency. You know, if we could take a look at, you know, like how did your life look and feel before we started working together, and then once you got to that point where, you know, you reach your goal of quitting the job, earning enough in your business to be full-time online and share more time with family. Can you talk to us about what were some of the differences? Maybe, you know, sharing the way you share time with your family, or the way you did things by yourself. Like, yeah, can you share a little bit more about those things?
Yeah, definitely the before and after, because it was very stressful. Obviously, working full time, I would come home, rush to prepare for my coaching calls. You know, that you help me structure the program, and you know, and then that was before I quit, and then after that, it was like I felt like it was like a big relief that, you know, I don't have to answer. I'm my own boss. You know, I don't have to answer to anyone, and it did allow me. Obviously, my children are now in school, so obviously back then. In 2017, my daughter was 3, but my son was only 1.5. So imagine, I could actually see my son walk. I didn't see my daughter walk, you know. It was my grandma that was here looking after her while I was working. I missed that. She would send me videos while I was at the office of, oh, Annika took her first step. And I was like, why didn't I see that? You know? Obviously, yes, I was so grateful to see a video, but I didn't see it live. And when I had my son, I had those experiences. I watched him crawl. I watched him walk, physically walk, not through a video while I'm sat at the office there. Those things are priceless. You can't get those things back. So I was obviously fortunate enough to have experienced that with my son, because I'd quit by the time, you know, I was already on maternity leave anyway. And even when I went back after maternity leave, it was very short time. So I still saw most things, because I was only working part-time when I went back. So that was a big relief. If anyone has the opportunity to work part-time after you've had the baby, wow, that was excellent. So I still had a little bit of income from the job, because I had to transition back into it. But once you'd left the job, it was like, oh my gosh, I can take my daughter to school, to nursery. Then it was so you guys say kindergarten in the US, in the UK it's nursery. So I got to take her to nursery. I got to you know, pick her up. But these things I never did, because I'd be stuck in traffic, you know, on the A14. Those people in the UK, A14. So anyway, the A14 is one of the worst roads in the UK, but it's getting better now anyway. But anyway, so I digress. So what I'm saying, what I've just shared, it just to see, you know, to really be there with your children. And, you know, I still have my mom's support, because obviously we're in the business. I still needed my mom. She would travel down, you know, support my husband and I while we're building the business. This is why I said I owe everything to my mom, really, mom and dad, for their support in this, helping us grow the business. So just so grateful.
Mm, 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 mm. You know, I had what you just shared with me is the first time I've actually heard some of this information, and that does something when you're able to see your child's first steps and
Yeah,
like be there for that. Ah, wow, that literally is priceless.
it is.
Wow, wow.
Because
I
I know
mean,
how
how
tough
how
it
does
is
how
in the
does
US. Yeah.
go
No, I'm
ahead.
just saying I know how tough it is in the US. You don't get 9 months off paid. You don't even get 6 months. You get like, is it like 6 weeks or 3 months? 3 months, I think it is. You get, most people who are working. So this is what I'm saying. It's like, wow. I mean, even that in itself is tough if you're in America and you have a child. One of my partners, that's one of the reasons why she quit. She lives in Arizona. She was like, I don't want to see my child. I don't want to be working and have to rush back to the office, and I haven't even bonded with my child yet. That is intense stress on the body. So I admire you guys in America listening for being able to having to rush back to work after like some people 6 weeks and they're back in the office. Whew, that is tough.
Yeah, that is
But I'll
very
let you
very
carry on.
tough. Yeah, that no, I'm just agreeing with you. That is very tough. Obviously, I don't know what it feels like to have a child, obviously, but I can say that just seeing how my mom was a single mom, so I saw the pain she experienced of having to work, 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 come home when it's time for me to go to bed, and wake up when just to drop me off to school sometimes, and I would rarely see my mom, so like I can totally relate being on the side of that of the kid, of the parent who might be listening to this, who's like working all the time, they don't really have enough time to see family, and it creates that like that distance because of the parents not there to nurture and raise and teach and love and be there with their child, and the child is missing the parent. So
Yeah.
I can totally relate from that perspective, but I do understand that it can be very stressful having to balance a job, family, and all of the
Yeah.
other responsibilities in life.
And even just having a grandma, I mean, some people don't even have that. And it's like, obviously, in terms of my daughter's upbringing, it was my mom that taught her everything she knows. I mean, my daughter could read before she even went to school, you know? And because
Okay.
my mom lived with us 4 days a week, and she'd go back to my dad, in Leeds. That again is priceless to me. Even yes, I might have been working, but to get your mom, my mom, to look after my daughter, the bond is still there. I didn't have to
Mm-hmm.
put her into daycare. It was just that. It was just amazing to have that support, and just I can really relate to that. I mean, I can't really imagine what people are going through, having to what just hand over your baby to daycare when they're tiny. This is tiny. Obviously my daughter was 2, 3 years old. She could fend for herself then. She could eat, she can do things. But when you have to hand over a tiny baby, oh, I don't know. It's tough. I don't know how people do it. But the thing is that that's what you have to do to survive. So
Mm-hmm.
it's hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, it goes back to what you just said. You got to do what you got to do to survive.
Yeah.
So, obviously you're in a position now that's totally different from where you were before. And this was back in, 2017. But here we are now at the time of this recording of this episode. It's actually 2020. Talk about what's happened, right? Because, like, obviously you've gone through the trenches, you've figured some things out, and you've been able to grow your business and sustain it. And you're still here 3 years later with the same business that, we worked on helping you launch, which again, I think
Yeah.
that's incredible. It's incredible. Talk to us about what's happened along the journey, what's happened along the way. Share with us some cool stories, exciting stories, or maybe some results you've been able to achieve. And also, please share like how you've been able to positively impact the customers and the people that you've attracted into your movement.
Yeah, sure. So obviously after the traumatic illness in 2016, which I'll quickly touch on because I don't want to, we won't be able to go back to it. So basically
Cool.
from 2016, before obviously me and Michael, we've kept in touch for 6 years now. So in 2016, December, that was the final, this is it now, this is it. because what happened then, it was almost the same time as when I had my daughter. So my daughter was 5 months, ended up having exhaustion. My son was nearly 6 months. So it was almost the same 6 months, actually. So I was like, I just felt drained, I couldn't sleep. And I was just like, my immune system was just deteriorated. And so what happened was that it was around Christmas. So I was already planning to visit my parents up in Leeds, which is about a 2-hour journey from where I am in Cambridgeshire, 2.5 hours. So we drove up and I was still getting worse. Like I thought that I would come out of it, but I didn't. Ended up, husband took me to the hospital. They sent me home. They said, "Oh, just let her rest." But I just kept getting worse. I had to go back. And then when I went back, the guy before that was treated in the cubicle before me, he had pneumonia and bronchitis. So I caught the pneumonia, caught the bronchitis, but in hospital I was on intensive care. I then had to go on a life support machine because I couldn't breathe on my own. So anyone in the health field and who's a nurse or anything like that, if you have a saturation level of 49, you pretty much could be brain dead. So the doctors were already drawing up my care plan. They said, that even if she comes round, she'll have to have full-time care because saturation levels are normally in the 90s for a normal, human being. But mine was 49. So they said for me to even come out of that would mean that, I'll be brain dead. But my husband, again, very spiritual, very connected. He was like, no, it's not happening. So he connected with the Most High, and also one of my clients is a law of attraction coach. So she drove all the way from South England, all the way up to North Yorkshire, which again is about a 3-hour drive, to visit her. She's my client. I was helping her grow her business, and she took me in as our clients are friends. She literally said, "There's no way I'm letting my friend die." Yes, we have a business relationship. So she drove up to the hospital. She even booked a hotel for herself and everything. She came into the hospital. She broke down crying. So my husband said to her, "If you're gonna cry, get out, because what that does is bring down the vibration of the person that needs needs to be healed." So she had to go out, compose herself. She came back in, and she said, "Right, let me get my crystals." So she does crystal healing as well as part of what she teaches. And she did the crystal healing. And after she finished the session, I opened my eyes. I was dying, and I've opened my eyes on my own. And I was still hooked up to the life support machine, obviously, to help me breathe. Opened my eyes, and I was just getting better. Day after day, I was just getting better and better and better. And I even remember it. This is the thing. You remember, I was almost brain dead. And I remember this. It's almost like I almost crossed over and came back, basically. It was that kind of, I've literally came into the light kind of thing. And I just kept getting better and better. I was responding. They had to put pictures around my bed to make sure I could remember my family, because I thought that I wouldn't remember anyone. But my brain, everything's intact. I remember everything. I remember all my telephone numbers. It's like, I'm not brain dead, doctors, So anyway, what I'm trying to say, I'm not blaming the doctors at all here. I'm not that type of person. They saved my life as well. Because if they didn't have the life support machine, they didn't have intensive care, I would be also dead. But what I'm trying to say to the coaches listening, especially in the health and spirituality, is that you have the power to heal here. You have the power to literally save a life who's almost crossed over to the other side, and I'm here talking. This is the power you have as a coach. If you're sat back during this pandemic thinking, I'm just going to sit back and wait for everything to blow over, somebody like me could be dying and they need you. So it's like the power that coaches have. This is why I specialize in helping health and spiritual coaches, because, even though, yes, I say health coaches, we still attract mindset coaches, vibrational frequency coaches. We still attract law of attraction coaches, because health is everything, mind, body, and soul. It's all of it together. And even in my program now, I've actually kind of used that in a system that I call MMS. So I wanted to I'll bring that up later because it might not make sense now, but it's like, so going back to the question is that, after I went through all that, it was like, that's it. My husband was like, Rochelle, this is not happening again. Nobody's going through this, because it was not even about me. So I put my family through. The whole family was like, what is happening to Rochelle? What happened? So anyway, so this is why I'm so passionate. I mean, I'm getting really choked up, because it's like, it's so dear to my heart, the fact that Estelle that drove that, 200 miles for me and saved my life, basically. My husband, all the prayers, everything combined brought me out of the hospital alive. And it is a miracle I'm talking to you right now. So this is what I'm saying. You coaches that sat back and know you have the power to do this, please just do a Facebook Live, put out positive messages, do something to put yourself out there, because we need you. If I had a coach and who taught me how to listen to my body as a new mother, I wouldn't have been exhausted and have been misdiagnosed and end up, losing my mind, it's just like, I can't say any more than that. That is the power. So I know you asked me other questions as well. So I'll quickly skip back from that, because that was 2016 before Michael. And obviously I told Michael about this experience. I didn't go into this detail. So after all that, and, I launched the program, I made the $17,000 launch. And then, I continued building the program, and using the feedback that I got from the first launch helped me build the whole system. So I basically improved some of the processes to make it better. Until today, I'm always recording videos to this day. So I invested in another program in 2017. It was October 2017, actually, just before I quit my, corporate position as well. Because I knew that Facebook ads was what I wanted to do. And that's what Michael helped me focus on, that, Facebook ads is it. Let me specialize in that. That's when I then did another program, which was probably the best investment next to High Ticket Freedom that I've ever done, because it really helped me become the expert in Facebook ads. So especially in the coaching field, which is what I specialized in. And in that program, it had different levels. And I just basically went from joining and I was just straight up to the top of the level. So I already knew, this is what I'm saying, I already was second guessing myself. I already knew my stuff even before doing that. And I still, but I just, you have to get better. As I said, coaches be coaches, and Facebook changes every day. So you can't be complacent and think what you learned in 2015 is going to work now. It doesn't. And that brings us on to other things. We then launched a second business, Little Hearts Music, with my husband. He's actually managing this one. And this, again, is a health product. It's a healthier alternative to snacking. So this is a stress reducer, and it's a cholesterol reducer, because it contains manganese that helps reduce stress. And what did I suffer from as a mother? Intense stress, which led to severe exhaustion. So this is our way of, because when my husband was going through all that trauma, he literally prayed and said, what can I do in society to help people not go through what my wife did? And this was delivered to us. It was almost like we were looking for a partner to help us bring this product to life. We were matched with a manufacturing company that specializes in healthy breakfast cereals. And this is a cereal and a snack at the same time. So it's a multi-uses product. So my husband leads this product. It's his baby. And together, because obviously with my marketing skills, I'm the marketing director of Little Hearts Muesli as well. And it's like, it was literally, the universe just aligned everything for us. Everything was just like alignment. Obviously, this was tough to bring a product. This is as Michael knows with Banana Wave, getting into the retail or wholesale industry is tough. We pumped £100,000 easy, which is $140,000, of our Lanarok Solutions income to get this out. So we were literally just pumping money into promotions, into getting it out there. And it just opened more doors again. And then I got featured in a book. They read my story, contacted me, the owner, Rafael Dos Santos. He contacted me and said, Rochelle, I want to feature in our book. It's called 50 High-Profile Club Entrepreneurs and Their Success Stories. So this was August 2018. So it's about a year after, 2019. Sorry, it's about 2 years after, Michael and I were working together. But as I said, we've always kept in touch. Remember, guys, I'm talking to somebody that he doesn't just treat his clients as a business transaction. They become literally friends. And me and Michael and I, we have to say that we are friends out of our business relationship. I mean, that doesn't happen with everyone. Obviously, you can connect with some people, you don't connect with others. But Michael and I, we really connect on a personal level and a business level. And I've opened the doors to being in a book with 50 other high-profile entrepreneurs and their success stories. If anyone wants to pick up the book, it's on Amazon right now.
Oh, my mind is blown.
Exactly. It's just like, everything was just a lie. It's like, just to have this product, developing this with the manufacturers and then the book, and then we got featured in the book. And then I was like, I've been featured in Authority magazine, on Medium. They shared my story. And then I've been the product itself has been featured in you know, the British Business Awards as the most innovative wellness product ever. As in, we were in the hundreds of entries. We got to the top 5 with this product. And we were nominated October 2019. And I can only say, again, it's the alignment. It's the fact that we are in financial alignment with what we're doing. So anything we need is just given to us. We've closed 5-figure contracts with clients, 5 figures. I would never, ever in my life, have ever thought I would be signing 5-figure contracts, ever in my life. This product alone, 5-figure distribution deal. And then being in a book, and then all these media mentions and media features. I'm just like, people really want to know about me? I was just like, is this for real? Even my mom was like, what are you doing in a book? You know, she couldn't believe it. You know? So I'm saying, you guys, you've got the power is within. You know, if I can come through all this trauma and stress, anyone else who's out there that's been through anything similar to me, and you feel like you want to just give up, just listen to my story and just, you know, tap into the people around you, your support network that are there for you. There's people rooting for you every single day. You just got to attract them. You got to get onto that vibrational frequency to attract the people that are going to take you to the next level, like Michael Baptiste.
Wow. Rochelle, you know, I'm speechless. I have to.
I know, it's just like, I mean, I can't stress it enough of how I'm just so grateful for everyone that I'm connected with. I mean, everything is divine to me. Anyone that I meet, I just like, right. It's just divine. I'm just so happy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm the happiest woman ever, basically, right now. I'm so everything is content, is what I'm saying. And to get that feeling of contentment, you can't put a price on that. I can go to bed at night, wake up, and I'm just happy. I'm smiling and we're singing, and I don't care about this C word. I'm not even gonna say the word because I don't like it. This C word, we can all get out of this. You don't need to be suffering and being in fear. It's just false evidence appearing real, as another coach of mine has taught me. It's like, don't just focus on what you can control, which is you. And that's what I've done. And that's what my parents and my husband and my family have done. They just focus on that, you know, Rochelle, you know, we're here for you, you know, and Michael, all these other coaches, it's like, I'm just so grateful. I don't know what else to say. I'm just so grateful.
You know, and I have a quote to just follow up with that. You know, I say, in order to become great, it starts by being grateful, and you are great, and it shows through your attitude, your results, and just all of the amazing changes that have happened in your life over the last couple of years. I mean, you know, if we rewind back to 2000, let's just say 2015, like could you have predicted all of these things would have come to you and been attracted to you on your path and journey?
Mm-hmm. There's no way. I knew that I was gonna, you know, quit the corporate life at one stage, but I didn't expect the things would just align like this at all. I knew that I was working with coaches. The universe was already giving me coaching clients back in 2014. It was probably my first ever coaching client. So even back then, the universe was giving me signs, but I didn't know anything. I just thought, oh, it's another client, you know, she lived down the road from me. That's great. I took it for granted, people. And I took things that was being shown, like, Rochelle, this is a client that's got a beauty business and wants to work with you. I just thought, great, I've got another client. Another client that came to me, she's a nurse. At the same time, she wanted to empower mothers to, again, the self-care thing. Why didn't I listen to her in 2014? You know, I didn't even all these people that have delivered to me, I didn't even think about asking them for their support. I mean, she did actually check in on me, but I didn't have a coach. I didn't have somebody saying, Rochelle, what have you eaten today? How many hours of sleep have you had? That's literally what I needed, because I would get up, feed the baby, and I'll be on the computer talking to my team the other side of the world. And I didn't go back to sleep. I'm fine, you know, I'm fine. I just kept saying I'm fine. I'm like, it's just, yeah, it's just surreal, you know. I would never have predicted anything.
I mean,
But we are,
from
we are, we are creators of our own reality, though. So obviously, it was there, but I just didn't. It wasn't time for me to know it yet. I think so. Everything it happens for a reason. It happens at the right time, you know. So that's
Mhm.
why I think things just happen for at the right time for us, as a family as well as for myself. So maybe back then I wasn't supposed to know what I was supposed to be doing, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah, I just really trust in the higher powers just to continue to guide us and protect us on this journey because it's not easy. It's not easy at all. It's tough. But just to be here and to be alive is a blessing to me. That's why I'm grateful every day. I write 6 things down every day in my journal of what I'm grateful for. Even when we rinsed out all our savings for this product, I knew I was gonna find a way to attract the income we needed to keep it going, and we did. Again, the 5-figure contracts just kept coming,
yeah, yeah.
and it just
Amazing.
replaced all the money we invested. It was like, how did that happen? So I don't question anything anymore. I say, right, is it on the same path as what I'm doing? If the answer is yes, then I just keep it moving. I'm like, if it's not in alignment, I don't do it. So I've learned how to say no. That's another big tip I'm going to share is I've learned how to say no to things. I think sit down and say, well, is it in alignment with what I'm doing? If not, you don't invest in it. Simple as that. But if it is, like having coaches, I still have the health coach. I've still got my mindset coach. I've got my Facebook ads coach. I don't let go of any coaches anymore because I'm not taking anything for granted. I have coaches for almost every area of my life now, and I didn't plan that either. People, again, the universe just delivered certain people that I connected with, and I said, yeah, I like you. I want you to be my coach now. So it's like, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, that is so fantastic. I mean, from books to breakfast snack products, cereal products to Facebook ad services to coaching people on how to get results with their own Facebook ad campaigns. I mean, it's amazing. Like, it's amazing how much you've been able to accomplish in such a short amount of time. And I think it, I always know that when it comes to like innovation, it goes back to what you said before. It's like we are the ones who can create what we want in our world, but we have to, as you mentioned before, elevate our vibration to be at a certain state. So that way, whatever it is that we're looking to attract into our life, it can, we can vibrate at the same frequency of that thing we're looking to attract. So that way, yeah, it just becomes normal to experience it now. And then it manifests as you put in the action and the time.
Exactly.
So like, looking at everything that you've done and all of the transformations you've had on a professional level, a business, financial level, family level, personal level, health level. I mean, just all of these different things. Let's actually look at like your business. If you could just give us like a ballpark of what you've been able to produce, or like, just generate. It doesn't have to be specific, but you could just give us a ballpark of what type of results have you been able to produce through what you've been able to launch in the Lana Rock Solution Services.
Yeah, so obviously, as I said, we did have to launch this product, so that did take a bit of a hit on the coaching side because I had to kind of pause a little bit. So we would have grown a lot quicker. So I wouldn't recommend people to start another business while you're growing another. But again, my husband and I, we work together, so we're a partnership in life and business. So there are two of us, So we launched it. It was a risk, but we knew that it was something we had to do because of the alignment. I just thought we have to do it. I don't care how it happens. We just have to do it. We have to find a way. So some of the things, so obviously going back to helping health coaches is that as part of, learning more about Facebook ads, we helped a health coach. She was charging $100 for her services for 3 months, $100 people for 3 months. She was based in Fort Wayne. I know it's in the US, but remind me of the state, Michael. I can't remember where Fort Wayne is. But
Fort Wayne, Texas, I think.
Fort Wayne. I think it's Texas. Fort Wayne.
Yeah, Fort Wayne, Texas. Yeah.
Yeah. So she was just a fantastic client. I mean, she was so passionate. She got so many results for the people. And I said to her, "Why are you charging $100?" well, nobody's going to pay me more than that. And I was like, no, if you're saying that, then they're not going to believe in you, are they? So I had to it's almost like a rewiring with certain people that they have to believe in themselves. And she still didn't believe it when I said to her, with what you're charging, let's do a package. You're not doing any hourly rate anymore. You're not doing any without $100 for 3 months or $20 a month subscriptions, none of that. Let's create a premium program, as Michael and I do, and launch that. But she still didn't feel comfortable at $2,500. So again, more mindset training was required there to help her get over that, because some people just find it difficult to know their worth, and that's the big problem that happened with her. And so we launched the campaign, helped her, put everything together with the ads, we did her video and everything else. And within 7 days, she booked 16 appointments in her calendar, all on autopilot. She would literally woke up, I've got 2 appointments today, 3 tomorrow, 4 on Sunday, on Friday, whatever it is. And she was like, wow. So, she did a $1,000 launch. So I said to her, do a launch, $1,000, if that's what you want to do. Obviously, I didn't recommend that because you can't keep that profitable forever, selling at $1,000. So we recommend $3,000 plus, which she eventually got to. But she did a $1,000 launch. So she was able to speak to, in total, like 28 booked calls over the course of that month. And we only spent, to get the 16 calls, we only spent $168. That's 16, it's about $10 per booked call. This was in 2019, beginning of 2018, 2019. You probably can't get that now. Well, I know you can't. Depending on your niche, it depends. But, so we were like, wow, so we then invested another $500 to get more, better quality of leads coming in. And so eventually we had 28 booked calls, and she spoke to at least 50% of them that's booked. Obviously, sometimes you get no shows and they reschedule. And, her business is transformed from that, because she's now charging what she's worth rather than the $100 for 3 months. That imagine $2,500 for one client, or $100, and you have to work with 25 clients. There's no wonder that there's so many coaches out there burnt out, because they're just undercharging and they can't deliver at their greatest impact because they don't have enough income, which is another reason why my Facebook group is called Income and Impact for Health Coaches.
That is fantastic. That's fantastic. Like, congratulations to you for helping her get that result. I know there's a lot more clients you've worked with that you've gotten some great results for. But I know that we don't have enough time for you to share all their stories, and you shared your story. It's like you share family stories. I know, we're limited on time. So Rochelle, tell us a little bit more about some of the products and the services that you offer, and just share just a bit about that with us, please.
Yeah, so the services I offer, as I mentioned in the beginning, those that heard the beginning, is I help health coaches automate their client attraction so that they can have more income and impact, so they can help more people worldwide. So that's basically, my goal is to get health coaches profitable as quickly as possible and reach the most people. Because most of the calls that I have with coaches is that I can only work with 30 clients at a time because I don't have enough time, because we're doing the one-on-one model. So we transition them away from the one-on-one and realize that when you launch a group coaching program, they'll get better results because they have accountability from seeing other people succeed. And you can still, deliver your service the same way. You can still offer a one-on-one, bonus sessions in between the group coaching if somebody needs to go deeper with you. But the main structure, the main implementation is taught in a group. And people didn't understand that concept. They're like, no, it has to be one-on-one. It has to be one-on-one. And it's not the truth. Those people that have to close their doors right now, fitness coaches, yoga studios, all those people have to shut their doors and did not develop a digital income stream. They're suffering right now. And it doesn't need to be that way. If you just launch simple systems and processes that allow you to have that multiple stream of income, you can still have your fitness studio. But if that closes, like what's happened in this pandemic, what have you got to fall back on? Nothing. So it's paramount that you get online. And right now, Facebook is doubled and tripled the amount of people watching videos online. I'll give you a big hint there. Videos is what people are watching. So what do you need to do more of? Videos. So that's another thing we help our clients do. We give them all the scripts, the templates to get on camera. I don't care, no excuses, just get on camera. And even if you don't want to get on camera and you want to do slideshows, you can do that, but you're not going to build that connection. People want to see your face, they want to connect. Because again, with everyone not being able to, all this social distancing stuff, you have to be on video. You can't get out of it, And if you're already a coach and you're working one-on-one, you have to be face-to-face anyway. So I know it's weird, you feel like you're talking to yourself, but just get over it and just imagine there's a room full of people talking and you just do video and get out there. And when I say just do video, you have to have a monetization strategy with it. You don't just want to do content for the sake of content. So we basically put everything together and so that they avoid overwhelm and wanting to throw their computer out of the window, which is what a lot of people feel. They're like, I'm frustrated. I don't know whether to do ClickFunnels or WordPress and all these things, but they focus on the wrong things. No, it doesn't matter about ClickFunnels. It doesn't matter about WordPress. Who are you helping and who do you want to serve? If you get clear on that, everything else works. The Facebook ads will not work if you don't get the foundations right. So again, in a nutshell, we take everyone through the foundations and we don't move forward until we've nailed the foundations. It's like, well, you are not moving to any ads until you get this right. So we're really strict on that in our program. We don't want to be like, like in the army, we don't want to be too military, but we have to stress it because we've seen people throw thousands of dollars down the drain because they're just not clear on who they're targeting. They're targeting like all women in the whole of the world that want to lose weight, or they want to help everyone with high blood pressure. And, whereas my client, she got really specific on who she wanted to help with her program. And that's why she got the results. It was just you have to get your message to market fit.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Rochelle. You're 100% right. And thank you for sharing a little bit more about what you do and about how you help people, especially the health coaches that you work with. Thank you for sharing, examples and case studies with us about some of your clients and, how they're happy and they're getting results. And I think that's I think that is the number one most important thing, is that the people that you work with, you deliver the service to, is that they're satisfied, they're happy, they feel fulfilled, and they're like, hey, more people should work with this person. Like that's really, really important. So, looking at all of the things you've gone through and you've experienced, if you can give yourself one piece of advice, back, 2014, right? When you just launched the first company, and you just got that first major result. Like, if you can go back to then and you can give yourself some advice to that version of Rochelle that was just getting started compared to where you are now, what would be one piece of advice you'd share with yourself?
To get a coach as soon as possible. Yeah, so basically it's the coaching, because if you don't have accountability, you don't have the drive to kind of do the stuff that you're told to do. This is why I don't really believe in these. When I say I don't believe, I don't think there's enough value in these courses out there. A lot of them is just the system part. And what we teach is MMS. The MMS method is like the mindset, mentorship, and system. And it's like a unit. And all three have to come together for it to work. If you only have one piece, like how to do copywriting, how to do Facebook ads, how to do email marketing, it's just one piece. You're not going to be able to do the other thing. How do you deal with the overwhelm and your frustration if you don't have anyone there to support you? That's why I just don't understand it. It's like, I did it in 2011 to 2014. I struggled for 3 years, made no money, and just kept buying course and software. My husband was like, why do you keep buying stuff? I said, I don't know. It's just like, I just need to buy it. And I thought that would solve my problem. And people are still doing that now. They're just buying course after course, no accountability, nothing. This is why you got to invest in proper, solid programs like the High Ticket Freedom and working with myself, so that you get real results and get the support, lifelong support. Remember me and Michael go back 6 years. What course have you bought for $100 where you know the person that created the course? It doesn't exist, because it's just another transaction. They don't really care about your results like Michael does, like myself do. It's like, so just make sure you get a coach that you connect with and that you feel that vibe and you're like, yes, I'm ready. And that's the coaches that we attract in our businesses, And it's because we've sorted out ourselves first. When you sort out yourself, you attract the people that you need, because, the law of attraction, how it works, as those people that don't know, you attract what you put out there. And because I fixed myself now, I'm just attracting things. I'm not attracting any illness anymore. I'm top of my game. I'm thinking straight. So again, it's just like that's the one piece of advice. Is just get a coach as soon as you can. Don't be like me and struggle for 3 years and miss out on those people that you could have helped. Because remember, it's not even about the income. How many lives have been lost because they didn't find you? How many people have you not served because you didn't want to invest real money into a real program to get real results? It doesn't make sense. There's one thing I put in my webinar is that, would you do knee surgery on yourself? And the answer is no. You're going to hire the top knee surgeon across the whole United States to fix your knee. But in the business world, we just seem to want to struggle on our own for no reason. And it's like, why do we think that we can just just struggle on our own when we don't need to? There's just no need for it. So we need to apply that same thing. When we're hiring a surgeon, if you're in the US, you're hiring a surgeon to fix your problem, get the business person to fix your marketing problem. And that's it. And implement and do everything to the T. Don't skip, because I did that. I was like, well, I know this already. Yeah. Oh, I know this already. Yeah. I would do that because I thought I'm already an expert. But I took that away and I said, let me just follow Michael's program to the T and just do it. Even if I know it already, there might be something that I've missed. And that's what happened. I just listened to the program as if I don't know anything about marketing. And if you already have a marketing background yourself, anyone listening, and you feel like, oh, well, if I get a coach, it's going to be like, well, I already know it all anyway. You don't. We don't know everything, And there's one saying from one of my clients, he taught me, he's fantastic. He said to me that to know and not to do is not to know.
To know and not to do is not to know.
Because if you think you know and you're not implementing because you don't have anyone pushing you, you don't know it anyway. If you're not doing what you know, what's the point? It doesn't make sense. So it's like, once you have that coach, you use that knowledge that you've obtained, and the coach pushes you to take action. It's all about action. And even as me, as a perfectionist, procrastinate all every day, because I put these simple processes of having my calendar on my board in front of me every day, I know what I'm doing. Some people don't have to do that. They can just get into work mode. But you have to make sure you learn about yourself and know how your brain works. Because, my husband has his whiteboard behind me here. That's his. I've got mine here. Some people don't do whiteboards. They just put it in their phone and they're fine. I have to put it in both. I have to digitize and write. And that's how I get things done. So you need to find your own way of working as well. That is really key. And another tip, and I don't want to go on too long, but is to track your time. Remember that time is our only resource we don't get back. I track every single business working minute. As soon as I wake up, I'm like, what am I doing? I go to my app, I click start. When I finish, I click stop. Because I want to know at the end of the day, what have I done? Where did my time go? So that I can continue to improve. If you don't do that, you're going to, again, just be doing busy work, posting on social media, and you don't even know why you've done it. You then post on Facebook, you then post your YouTube video, and there's no strategy. So you need to have, as I said, the mindset, mentorship, and systems. You can't do it without anything else. I'm living proof of that.
Yeah, you are, and you are a living, thriving, inspirational story. You truly are. You truly are. Outside of just the business things, like how you overcame so many, health situations and family, it's like, that is inspiring. I want you to know that. Thank you. As we prepare to get into wrapping up our session here today, what would you recommend for somebody out there who's listening to this and they're like, yeah, I've been thinking about this guy, Michael Baptiste. I've been thinking about this whole high ticket freedom, but, what advice would you give to that person who's kind of on the fence or interested?
Well, from a practical standpoint, you go and book a call first and talk to Michael. That's the first thing. And what I would say is, you just got to look at his success stories already, get know that he's already done this with many other clients, including myself. And, once you've got, well, if you're showing you the proof, what else do you need? You know, I don't know what else. If you're saying to me that you don't have the money or whatever, find the money. Simple as that. We found the money. We put ourselves 6 figures in debt for a product. How did we get out of that? We have to find the money. We attracted it. We got investors. We had family help. We've got family investors, business investors, everybody put together, and we did it, you know? So you just got to find a way. I don't believe in this I don't have the money thing. Because if you want to go to a Beyonce concert, you're going to find the money, you know? If you love Beyonce, that's your thing, you're going to find the money. But when it comes to business, like, oh, I don't have the money. That doesn't exist. I'm sorry. You're going to find the money if you want that TV. You're going to find the money if you want the Apple Mac. You're going to find it. So just find it so you can invest in yourself. Because remember, at the end of the day, you're investing in yourself. It's not just about Michael, you know, just getting another client. You're investing in yourself to get results. So it's a win-win. So that's the major advice I can give. And also what I touched on earlier is that you don't just treat your clients as a business transaction. You actually really care, which is why we're still talking 6 years after first working with each other in 2014. I can't say any more than that.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Rochelle. So for our listening audience, because we have people from all over the world that are listening and tuning in, I know a lot of people have enjoyed your story. They want to follow you. They want to tune in. They want to connect. And there's a probability that maybe you're listening right now and you want to hire Rochelle to help you really create some killer converting Facebook ad and just media ad campaigns, period. Like, because she didn't mention it, but she's also working on getting certified with Google Ads and, you know, some YouTube stuff. So she's working on some marketing, you know, paid ad ninja stuff in the background, but she definitely is somebody to connect with. So Rochelle, where can our audience connect with you? Where can they learn more about you? And if they want to work with you, where can they do that as well?
Yeah, so yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, we are, you know, I've built up a team now. That's another thing we didn't mention, is that now I have a team that's working with me to get you guys the results, because that's all we care about, is getting you results. And then, because, you know, that's what we care about. And by having that support team is really what's helped me, you know, take the business to the next level as well. So we teach all that. We teach how to build your team. Michael teaches this as well. It's not even just about the launch of the business. It's the after stuff. How do you even deliver the service? How do you then build a team? The outsource report that I bought in 2014 gave me the foundation. Just to share this one thing, the person that I hired from implementing Michael's outsource report is still working for us to this very day. 6 years. And she lives in the other side of the world, and she's still working with us as a graphic designer. And I'm just so grateful that I can help. I can help somebody on the other side of the world and support them. You know, and I'm helping her. She's got 2 children like me, almost the same age. It's almost like we were supposed to work together. That is not by chance. That is. Why is it that we had our daughters and our son almost the same year? We're the same age, and we're supporting each other as the mompreneurs. It's like, that is divine again to me. And so, going back to your question, if you want to book a 45-minute revenue accelerator call with me, you just need to go to Little. See, I've got the products on my brain. Sorry, guys. I'm hungry now. So it's LanaRoc. It's LANAROC solutions.com/HTF 2020. So I'll say it again. It's LanaRocSolutions.com/HTF 2020. I'm sure Michael will put it in the notes, the links, whatever, all around, so you'll get it. But I'll spell it again, LANAROC solutions with an S on the end, .com/HTF 2020. So the HTF is high ticket freedom, of course.
Awesome. Thank you. And what about social media? Do you hang out anywhere on social media, anywhere our audience can find you?
Of course. So Rochelle Odubela Live is at Rochelle Odubela Live on Facebook, and LinkedIn is Rochelle Odubela. So those are the main places I'm on, is Facebook and LinkedIn. Okay,
right on. I know you also have a group as well, don't you? Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Income and Impact for Health Coaches community. So you can go, if you want to join the community, again, it's LanaRocSolutions.com/health-coaches. So that's how you can join the group as well. So the other thriving health coaches on the same journey as you can come and learn. And I'm doing a special workshop next week as well. So I'm doing lots of stuff in there. So you're gonna so much value that I'm bringing to the group, and I'm just so excited to get it all out there because I just want to help you as much as possible, and we can just save lives together.
That is excellent, Rochelle. Thank you for sharing where we can find you and come hang out in your community. And, for those of you interested, you can actually book a session with Rochelle at that link. You will see that below this video. So, Rochelle, before we do get out of here and just finally conclude, share, I know you got the book over there. We didn't see a picture of you in the book. Can you show us that?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. So basically, I'm one of the 50 high-profile club entrepreneurs, and you can find me on page 127. Let me find my page. There I am, co-founder of Lanorock Solutions. So this is actually for our health products. Actually, they contacted us on behalf of the Little Hearts Muesli. So our other business is Lanorock Healthy Bites Limited. So anytime you search Lanorock on Google, you'll find both our companies anyway, LANAROC, and that's where I share about 1,200 words of my story. Actually, I covered 3 pages. Actually, I forgot that because they put me at the end of this section. So I'm in the health section because obviously it's about health and wealth and how I struggled, juggling being a mom and running the business. So that's where you can read more of my story there, and you can get the book on Amazon, amazon.co.uk. I'm not sure about .com. I don't know, but it's littleheartsmuesli.co.uk/book to get the book. So there's loads of links there. But yeah, so we're everywhere.
Right on. Thank you so much, Rochelle. That was awesome. And for our audience out there, I know that you guys have had a great time. Look, I've been enjoying this too. I know that you've been enjoying it as well. And Rochelle, we are now closing this down. Please, what is one quote you can share with our audience that you can share, something motivational, inspirational, maybe one key, one lesson, one nugget? What do you have that you can share with us before we wrap up today's session?
I have so many, but the one I'm going to leave with you is the only limitation is your imagination. So if you feel like you're limiting yourself, just create that life in your mind, which is what I did. And through the mindset training that I spoke about. So again, the only limitation is your imagination. Don't let anything stop you from where you want to go, because there's no limits. That's basically what the quote means. There's no limits. There is no sky the limit to me. There is no limits because the universe is endless. Well, what limit have you got when you're even on this earth is a blessing, So it's like there's a film about that as well, where that if you just to be created, it's already a miracle. Out of all the people in the world, you came about as a human being on this earth. So why limit yourself? So again, the only limitation is your imagination.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. The only limitation is your imagination. Rochelle, thank you so much for your time today. It has been extremely, extremely awesome. I appreciate you for coming on, sharing your story, sharing your testimony, your journey, and just thank you, Rochelle.
Thank you so much for having me and listening. And I look forward to connecting with you all that's out there listening, and just keep moving forward. I'm so happy. Thank you, Michael, for all your support. And we're going to continue working together, guys. You see, all these partnerships you can create online. It's just beautiful. It's just a beautiful thing to create friendships, partnerships, business. It's just fantastic.
You are so right. You are so right. And with that, we will now bring today's session. Yes, and like I said, with that, we will now bring today's session to a conclusion. Again, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. This has been your man, Michael Overdeliver Baptiste, with our special guest, Miss Rochelle Odubela today. This has been the High Ticket Freedom Show, and as we sign out, I want to remind you of one thing. If the dreams that you're dreaming can be accomplished in this lifetime, then you are dreaming too small, and I challenge you to dream bigger. That's all for today, folks. Take care, and we will see you inside the next episode.
Bye, everyone.